Mm, yeah, it's not looking good, bro. My OBS has shown 2 out of 4 grid signal.
Yeah, that's not good. That's the reason I don't. I can't do broadcasting because quality of my game is already low, and then the stream will be even more choppy and stuff.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna keep it like this. If the stream lags, the worst case scenario, I have it recorded so we can upload it to
Yeah,
YouTube later on. I don't think I'm gonna change anything because it's qualifying, nobody cares, but race is about to start in like 4 minutes time. But
yeah, exactly,
anyway, where's Marcel Migo? He's up to third. Okay.
exactly.
Let me quickly get everything back in order. Alright, so we are on to the final couple of laps.
Yeah, I can see right now Tejas Sharma first driving slowly, and now he's picking up the pace in the final corner as he's gonna start his final flying lap.
Marcel Miku is about to come across the line, see if he can improve on his penultimate effort. Yes, he can. So on 54.805, that puts him just ahead of Berger by 35 thousandths of a second. And Miro Regibi has finished his qualifying down in P9. Maybe Maverick does have a bit of pace in Argentina.
As right now, Mr. Scoot crosses the finish line, improves, and now goes on to his last lap. Will he improve more? We we will
I
see this
mean,
lap, but it's already very fast for him.
yeah, he's 7 tenths ahead of the rest of the grid. That is a huge advantage as Matt Pryor sets a personal best, but he's still just less than a tenth behind Maverick. So Matt Pryor being one of the returning drivers after missing season 14, but he was quite competitive in season 13. So we would expect Matt Pryor to be fighting for the top of the midfield positions, as Pelea is currently in P6, improved his lap time, but he still needs to. Well, he can't find 8 tenths anymore because the checkered flag is out, with Brian Garcia now finishing his final lap and can't improve.
Oh yeah, yes indeed. As I'm looking
Nope.
ahead, it doesn't look like Mr. Scoot's improving right now, but Marcel Miku is marginally by 1/10 right now as he's in the final sector going through the final fast chicane. Well, I mean, it still looks fast, but he's sliding a bit there near the exit as he heads into the final corner. Ooh, that slide cost him some time, and it doesn't look like he will improve here on his final lap.
Nah, he will not take pole, but he can't improve his time either. So that means if Bergie can find an improvement, Marcel Miko might be starting on the second row as player rejoins the session. Bergie is down by 5 tenths after 2 sectors. If he can keep it up, this might be just promoting the British driver up in front of the Czech driver, and it does just about by
Very
48
close.
thousandths of a second. Bergie beats Marcel Miku to second.
I must say these MX5s look on rails throughout the final sequence of corners. You can see them really pushing the limit of grip there, and at times doing a bit of a power slide towards the final corner, which is very nice and refreshing to see.
Yeah, and it's a good improvement by Maverick for the final lap as well, who improved 3.5 tenths on the final lap to solidify his fourth position. As player is Glenn Selk. Okay, so for
Yes,
some
indeed.
reason he doesn't have a name this week.
He's
He's
on
on another
another
PC.
PC.
That makes total sense. So he will start from P6, and well, he's almost 100 points behind fifth place in the championship. That's because Glenn Selk only did half of the championship. So Yeah, he's probably not going to be moving up in the championship standings, but he's definitely got pace because compared to Maverick, for example, Glenn Selk has got a podium, and Maverick, despite his consistent P4 and P5, he's never set a foot on the podium in any of the rounds this season, and it's looking like he's not going to do it tonight either because the gap between the top three and the rest of the pack is quite large still.
Yeah, I must say it's a nice position for Maverick to be in, but if he wants to get a podium, he will either have to find more pace or hope one of the drivers ahead makes a mistake.
Oh my god, I'm getting blushed. Thank you, Mr. Scoot, and thank you, Bergie. Oh my god, Marcel Migre is still server muted. That's not ideal.
Poor guy.
Because his microphone basically, for whatever reason, it kind of has an echo of other people's voices for whatever reason. Because I think he uses a headphone, so he doesn't even use a speaker. Which if you use a speaker, then it makes sense. It has the echo. But for headphone user to have an echo of other people's voices is really weird. But
Yes, exactly. But I hope we still can get a decent interview out of him when the race is done. I
yeah,
mean, the races, he is, after all, the champion.
yeah, yeah, Samuel. I have no idea how does how that happens, but it has happened for the last 6 months, so there has not been a fix yet. Anyway, let's look at the grid for our race one, which is determined by the qualifying position. We've got Mr. Scoot in front of Sandy Burgess, who has done 0 laps of practice and put it on the front row. So very impressive from the British driver, who could challenge for second in the championship actually, because Alex Romsik is well, he's missing, is absent this week tonight, and Marcel Miku, well, the champion now, because Alex is not here in race one. We'll start from P3 up alongside Maverick. On the third row, we've got Matt Pryor and Glenn Selk. And then fourth row will be consisting of Brian Garcia and Leila Petralia, with Miro Gibi, very lowly nice for his normal high standards. And then we've got Khaled Dalavicius and Teja Sharma rounding out the back of the grid, as we need to be ready for the 6 red lights. At the front of the field, Marcel Miku will get his normal blistering start, but can he improve from P3 to P1 by the first corner already? It's a good start from Mr. Scoot as he tries to pull away from Sandy Burgi, and Marcel Miku is already alongside Burgi, so he's not going to go to P1, but there's a big chance that he can make to P2, and he does. Down towards the inside of the first corner as Burgi goes slightly wide and yields a second position. So up to second goes the season 15 champion.
Well, yeah, I mean, great start from our pole sitter, Mr. Scoot, and also Marcel Miku. I'm going to be completely honest. Every race start, I just put my camera on him because you know he's going to launch off the line and you know he's going to make a position.
Yeah, it's a very clean start actually. Nobody has lost any real ground. It's a good start from Miro Regibi, now down the inside of Leila Petralia. Through turn 6, these two are fighting for P5 in the championship, so these positions can be crucial, but Leila gets the cutback and down towards this very kind of curvy straight through towards turn 8. We've got Brian Garcia looking at the rear of Miro Regibi, who's tapped
Ooh.
Leila Petralia, but luckily Leila held on, but she's gone deep through the hairpin. Miro counterattack her here because he gave her a tap the previous corner, but Miro got out of shape himself. So he backed off in P8. We've got Matt Pryor right behind Maverick. Maverick has a qualifying pace, but it doesn't look like he's got a good long run pace for now because he's gone deep in turn 12. And this is a good round from Matt Pryor.
Yes, indeed. He'll probably have to wait until the main straight, and then he can either bump draft and then make the overtake or just sit behind, which I don't really see him doing.
Yeah.
As we've seen yesterday, these guys had some great wheel-to-wheel battles, and I think we'll see some more of that today.
Trouble for Kvyat, who had a moment in towards the final fast chicane. So down to P11, P last goes the Lithuanian driver. That's the position you don't want to be in because the top 10 will be reversed for race 2 as Matt Pryor sends it down the inside of turn 1 on Maverick. They leave each other good amount of space. Matt Pryor gets slightly oversteery on the inside of the corner because he needs to turn more to get the nose thing, and his attempt is unsuccessful. Miro, meanwhile, side by side with Leila Petralia, now trying to go around the outside of turn 3. Can he hang around there? If he can be on the outside of turn 4, you'll have the inside line of turn 5. Actually, Leila tucks back in and gives up the position.
Yes, indeed. It did look like Miro Ragubi went a bit wide there, but he made it work, and now he's up a position. Very nice. Ooh, from Petralia's point of view there, it looked like Ragubi was really using all the slip angle of the tires. Could be something visual, but yeah, looked very nice.
We
Starting
got
through the flat-out turn right now.
Ooh,
We
it's
can
very
see,
close for P2. Sandy Burgi was very close into the braking zone of the hairpin to Marcel Miku, but he couldn't make the move. But yeah, Miro Gibi does have a very oversteery kind of setup, also driving style, as Sandy Burgi is setting this one up perfectly, but he is going to bump drive the Marcel Miku. They need to work together to try to catch Mr. Scoot up ahead, who's got a 1.4 second lead already.
oh yeah, Sandy Burchi right now patiently waiting in the corner to get close to Marcel Miku and bum draft him down the straight just to get that position, because that's just how these cars work. And it's optimal, you know, you go faster or ahead of you goes faster so you can catch up to the front. Or Mr. Scoot has a very, very big gap right now.
And Sandy Burgi is not going to wait down towards turn 1. He's going to make the move on Marcel Miku. Clearly, Burgi seems to be faster, but Marcel Miku does a fantastic cutback. And down towards turn 2, he'll have the inside line. He's all over the curb. They need to be careful. He'll be on the outside for turn 3. Burgi brakes later and holds the inside line. Little bit of twitch, little bit of moment there from Marcel Miku on the outside, but they're going to go side by side towards the chicane. Burgi has to yield. Marcel Miku hands on to the position, but look at the lead Mr. Scoot has. It's 2.5 seconds.
Exactly, Marcel Miku, beautiful cutback there in turn 1, and just really being there wheel to wheel and making the decisions when it mattered to get on throttle, and then extend a gap to hopefully retain position here in P2 for the rest of the race. But we know Sandy Burgess fast, and we know these three will keep on battling the race
It's a
through.
brilliant run. Sorry to cut you off there. Miragibi
Yeah.
looking to the inside of Glenn Selk. Glenn Selk tries to brake later, but he's gone deep. He will have the inside line for the first part of the chicane, and he just about stays ahead of the Belgian driver. But Miragibi, after a disappointing qualifying, is very fast in the race, and he taps Glenn Selk, tries to push him forward as Leila Petralia goes onto the grass behind them.
Well, yeah, beautiful display of bump drafting here right now. You can really see how much faster Glenn Selk is going because of it. And if it happens again on the main straight, I think we're going to see these drivers challenge the cars up ahead.
But he's gone for the move. Miragibi clearly think he's faster right now, and he's made the move in towards the final sector. And up to P6 goes the Belgian driver, Leila Petralia, going wide again, coming out of the fast chicane. And we're going side by side for P2 again. It's a carbon copy of the same position last lap. Marcel Miku goes for the cutback, and once again, brilliant from the Czech driver.
If I were Sandy Burgi, I would keep trying this every lap until the last lap and then changing it up and trying to go for the position. Throwing your opponent off is, you know, one of the biggest things you have to do in racing. But right now, Burgi, he is ahead of Marcel Miku.
And this time he's on the
Goes a bit
outside of the
wide.
chicane. He's gone deep, but the driver on the inside of the first part of the chicane has to yield, because otherwise he will either understeer or oversteer on the curb and bump the driver on the outside. However, Marcel Miku does a perfect turn 6, and he is still on the inside of Burgi down towards turn 7. Mr. Scoot has a 5-second lead after 3.5 laps as Marcel Miku repasses Burgi up into second.
I think Mr. Scoot can be celebrating right now that these drivers keep fighting because the gap just gets bigger and bigger. He can either relax or just, if he makes a mistake, benefit of having such a big gap to the cars behind.
The battle for P6 continues. Glenn tries to go around the outside of the turn 8 hairpin, but Miro holds onto the inside and holds onto the position, and up 3 positions now for the Belgian driver. He does have a 2.5 second to try to catch up to Matt Pryor.
I must say for Mr. Scoot, it's going to be probably, I mean, we're nearly halfway through the race. It's probably going to be another race 1 victory and then race 2. We'll see where he ends up, but it's clear he has a pace. So we'll just have to overtake all the cars in at the start of the next one and get that position because he's really displaying what he's capable of right now.
Yeah,
P4 in the championship with only half a season. It's really admirable.
definitely. I mean, it's a different situation to the last 3 rounds as well, because in qualifying he absolutely dominated today. We don't see gap like 0.6 that often, because the front guy is always very close to one another. So it looks like Mr. Scoot either has found some breakthrough in setup or just some incredible line through this lesser known Buenos Aires circuit, as Miragibi is not really closing in on Matt Pryor, and Glenn is just lurking behind him.
Well, yeah, Mr. Glenn Salk is really starting to catch up again, even though Mirugubi right now is on a personal best lap of about 4 tenths right now. So it's clear both of these drivers have their own set of pace right now, and they will keep fighting throughout the race probably.
Yeah, and now Rigibi closes in slightly towards the sector 2. Looks like he is faster in the corners. The gap between him and, and Matt Pryor is down to 1.9 seconds, so about half a second of gain for Miro this lap, as he looks to move up more positions and maybe even try to challenge Maverick, who is his contender for P5 in the championship this season, as Mr. School sets the fastest lap of the race. And Marcel Miko also sets a personal best, and he's pulled away from Bergy by 0.3 last lap, so the gap up to 0.9. Maybe the lack of practice is now showing for Bergy, or maybe he's just reserving energy to have a final go in the final stages of the race.
Oh yes, indeed, Mr. Scoot. I'm very impressed with what his pace is like here today. I mean, we haven't seen this type of pace in any other rounds, if I'm correct. He's dominating the field in qualifying today and right now in the race.
Yeah, he looks absolutely fast, even when Marcel Miko and Bergy were not going side by side every corner. The gap was already up to 1.5 seconds after 2 laps, so clearly Mr. Scoot is the fastest driver, but to do a double victory in one round has proven to be extremely difficult, because if you start from P10, you will always be involved in some kind of incidents. Let's see if Mr. School can do something very rare in Phoenix Sim Sport, as Miragibi continues to chase down Matt Pryor, but he's gone slightly wider through the hairpin. He's still gained time on exit though, down to 1.6 seconds is the gap.
Well, yeah, right now also up in front, Marcel Miku is extending his gap to Sandy Burgi. They're not even within slipstream range right now. It's all about raw pace right now. And we know Marcel Miku has a disadvantage on the straights with his shifting, so he's really making it work. As I saw Sandy Burgi sliding a bit through the final corner there, going a bit counter steery as to not spin the car around.
Yeah, the gap is up to 1.3 seconds now. It is very much not ideal for Sandy Burgee.
Yeah, and right now Brian Garcia also starting to catch up more to Leila Petralia. The gap is around 1.1 seconds right now.
Yeah, and I've just checked historical data. So the season 13 and 14 champion Michael Ledesma has done 3 double victory rounds, which is absolutely impressive. And Marcel Miku did it in the opening round at Mugello this season. But I believe these are the only 2 drivers that have ever done a double victory in the MX5 series in Phoenix Sim Sport. So can Mr. Scoot be the 3rd driver to do it? Well, it's looking good for race 1 victory. He hasn't won a single race 2 since joining the league. Maybe this will be his breakthrough, as Brian Garcia is now 8 tenths behind Leila Petralia, as Miro Regibi is now within attacking range of Matt Pryor.
Yeah, Brian Garcia really is pushing his pedal all the way down right now. I did see him slide a bit, but it doesn't look like it really impacted his time all that much, because what pace he has right now, if he continues this right now in the next
Ooh.
I mean, 6-7 minutes or so, we will see an overtake as Leila Petralia goes a bit deep there, just about makes a corner. As we're looking at Brian Garcia right now in the slipstream, he will go for the move, it looks like, in the fast chicane. He yields. So he's putting on the pressure on Leila Petralia right now. Either he's gonna go for a move here, which he doesn't look like he's going for.
Oh my
Ooh,
god.
Leila Petralia slidey there as she gets overtaken right now by Brian Garcia. I mean, I thought he was going to wait and bum draft his way down the straight and then make a move, but no. The opportunity presented himself and he rightfully went for it.
Yeah, Layla was deep at turn 12. She was deep at turn 11. She also got absolutely crossed up in the fast chicane, somehow saved the car, but she couldn't save it in towards the final corner as Miro Gibi tries to hang around the outside of Matt Pryor. Can he be there? Oh, they're almost making contact. Miro
Ooh.
is on the grass, trying to go around the outside at turn 4. Matt Pryor just about leaves enough space, but Miro drives onto the grass himself.
I mean, it's clear he really has a pace for it, but Matt is defending with his life, as he should when you have a faster driver, but it does make you prone to mistakes, so let's hope you don't see much of that and we see more of this beautiful wheel-to-wheel battling as Matt takes the inside line. Miro had to slightly correct himself there as he makes a bit of contact.
You had to break, you had to break. So yeah, Matt Pryor absolutely just hugging that inside line. He's not leaving the inside open for Miro as Leila Petralia actually repassed Brian Garcia in towards the turn 4-5 chicane. So these two continue their battle for P8. But Miro Regibi definitely looking like the faster driver. However, he's only got 5 minutes to try to overtake one of the best defenders in the league in Matt Pryor. On his return, he's showing what he's capable of as Brian Garcia once again. Oh, what happened to Layla? Where is she? She's gone behind the advertising hoarding and spinning towards the
Oh,
wall. The good thing for her is the next driver is 52 seconds back, so whatever happens, she will finish P9. But it looks like she has a very, very unstable setup as the battle for P5 now has a newcomer. Glenn Selk has latched himself onto the back of this train.
well, yeah, we could see Miro Ragubi last lap really catching up a lot to Matt, but just before the final corner at the exit of the fast chicane, he did go with 4 tires on the grass, so that cost him quite a bit of time, and that's why we saw him drop back a bit right here. But yeah, Glenn Selk now also in the battle. He's closer to Miro than Miro is to Matt, so it does spice things up for him, but he has a pace, he knows it, he just has to make it work with his nicely oversteering setup.
Yeah, I think Miro had a moment in turn 1, so he dropped back slightly. We've also got Marcel Miku ever so slightly closing in on Mr. Scoot. It might be some incredible late race pace for Marcel Miku. It might just be Mr. Scoot getting a little bit relaxed. Don't need to push that hard because he had a 6-second gap, which is now down to 3 seconds.
I think he must have made a mistake because you don't lose such a big lead in these cars like that. I mean, earlier on we could barely see him in the distance when we were looking at Marcel Miku. Now he's, I mean, I don't want to say very close because gaps in the MX5s are very big, even though they look small. But yeah, now he's within our distance. Marcel Miku, if we see more mistakes from Mr. Scoot, might be challenging for a late charge here with only 3 minutes left in the session.
Yeah, it will be 2 laps to go at the end of this one. As Miragibi breaks later towards the final corner, he's looking towards the inside. He's got a tidier line, but we all know these MX5 cars don't have that strong of a slipstream compared to the likes of Tatus. So even though the gap is really close, Miro might need to make a sanding towards turn one. He is closing though, the gap down to 2 tenths of a second. Matt Pryor once again defends the inside line. Miro Regibi is going to try to hand around the outside of turn one and he can't do it.
I mean, right now it's an unstoppable force versus an immovable object because that's just the base Miro has, and that's the defensive power that Matt Pryor has right now.
Yeah, I think Miro needs to think about how he can attack in turn 8. The problem is, if Matt Pryor just fends off the inside towards turn 7, there isn't much that Miro can do, because then the next corner, the hairpin, is also a right-hander. Miro is trying different lines through turn 6. He's trying to push the door open, but Matt Pryor is so far unfazed. He'll once again, though, go to the edge of the track, defends the inside towards turn 7 and turn 8. Miro this time pulls out early, but you're on the long way round here. They make slight
Contact.
contact, yeah, I think slight contact, which is okay, but Miro does have a bit of a lead into the hairpin. Matt braked really late, and once again defends incredibly well.
And I mean, we can look back there, Glenn Selk just following them, hoping they take each other out so he can take 2 free positions. But
Matt's gone wide.
what moves are you seeing right now? It's very nice to see some slight contact that doesn't end up in a massive crash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Miro's given him the bump draft because you really don't want to go side by side through the fast chicane. But you can see how much faster Miro is. And Matt defends the inside line and Miro hits him. That's a bit of a bump and run. And where's Glenn Selk? I think Miro is trying to return the position to Matt Pryor. Indeed, he does. But in opening the door, he might also be letting Glenn Selk go, who is glued to the rear end of Matt Pryor. They're going almost 3 wide. Matt Pryor defends the inside line, but that's too
Oh.
late. Miro Regibi is down the inside. This is his best chance. Down towards turn 1. 3 wide. Miro on the inside. Matt Pryor through the middle. And Glenn Selk lets them go. And Miragibi finally has made the move, or has seen Matt Pryor looking to the inside, but Miro shuts the door off and takes 5th position. And this might be really important if you can hang on to those extra points. But Matt Pryor gets a perfect actor coming out of turn 3 and sending it down the inside of turn 4. They just about not
Whoa.
make contact, and Miro hands on around the outside of turn 4. And now Glenn Selk dives the inside of Matt Pryor through turn 6. Miro gets counter
Oh,
steer.
Rigubi drifts.
Yes, and somehow he saves the car and stays ahead of the pair of them. What's going to happen to turn 8? I don't know what I imagined.
What a last lap battle we have on our hands here. Again, oh, Selk off after making a bit of contact with Matt Pryor there, but Rigubi still in the lead. He has the inside line here. Glenn Selk trying to make the move happen on Matt Pryor, who goes on the grass, but still side by side. Look at these drivers go as Matt Pryor takes a position right now. What
Incredible.
exactly, it's incredible
And
how
up
they
at the
make it stick.
front, yeah, Mr. Scoot is going to take one of the easiest victories in his life, setting the fastest lap on the final lap with a 154.162. This is race win number 4 for Mr. Scoot. He's won all 4 of the last 4 race ones. And let's see if he can do it again in race 2 for the first time in his career here at Phoenix Simsport. Miro Regibi just about hands on to P5, and what a brilliant counter move by Matt Pryor, going around the outside of Glenn Selk and all the way onto the grass, and somehow he stays in P6 again ahead of Glenn Selk. It was absolutely incredible.
Oh yeah, I mean, contact, hitting each other, going 3 wide. What a final lap these three drivers had right now. And again, a great victory also from Mr. Scoot. Marcel Miku P2, he gained one position in this race, and then Sandy Burgee P3.
Yes, we've got Donuts from Maverick, who has tied his personal best result of P4. I think his last P4 is all the way back at the start of the season, the first race in Mugello. He's then, of course, finished in P5 4 times, which is absolutely normal, but he finally finished P4 for the second time this season. As on stream, I'm going to try to look at the replay if it lets me. It's not really letting me select any drivers, which is very good. Anyway, we've got it now. So this is down towards the... Okay, let's look at the contact from Matt Pryor's view. He got a poor run through the fast chicane. Yeah, he's just trying to brake earlier to set up the final corner, but Murigibi tries to look down the inside and just tapped Matt Pryor wide. But he does give back the position, which is very good sportsmanship from the Belgian driver. And then they went all the way down towards turn 1, 3 wide. So Matt Pryor tries to cut Miro off, but it was too late. Miro still had the overlap, so Matt moves back to the middle line. Glenn Selk very calmly lets them go on the outside. So at this point, you would think Murigibi has passed him, but then it all happened if I move a bit further ahead. So Murigibi got a big counter steer moment on the exit of turn 6. He was drifting all the way on the exit, and somehow he stayed ahead of his competitors. And let's have a look at this angle. So Matt Pryor tries to go to the outside. Glenn Selk basically, yeah, he kind of understeered into Matt, and then in trying to save his car, drove onto the grass. Then Matt Pryor just sent it around the outside of the hairpin, and Glenn Selk just about left him space, but then didn't really on the exit. But still, Matt Pryor handed on the grass, and Glenn Selk rightfully let him go because he did kind of squeeze Matt onto the grass, and somehow they all stayed alive. This is quite incredible that after such a enthralling battle that nobody died.
Yes, indeed. I am just. I find it difficult to judge who was at fault with that contact between Pryor and Ragubi because it's very difficult to judge there. It could be that yeah, exactly, he had a bad chicane Pryor and thus had to brake early to save his car. But yeah, it's difficult to judge in those moments who's
Yeah,
at fault. But I think it can be chucked down to a racing incident.
yeah, I think the fact that Miro let Matt pass on the main straight should be the end of that one. I mean, Miro obviously didn't do it intentionally. It's just that clearly he is faster and has more confidence than Matt into the braking zone. So, of course, there is always a little bit of a braking difference in terms of the drivers in the league. And as Samuel said, not P5 for Maverick. Well, maybe he will finish P5 in race 2 because he's going to start down in P7 for the reverse grid second race as Teja Sharma will be heading the field alongside Leila Petralia, I think. Yes.
Yeah, I'll still have to wait until the race starts to go back to the pits. I really have to map a button for that. But yeah, I mean, race 2 right now with the reverse grid, I think it's going to be very fun to see and very interesting.
Yes, so let's do a little bit of a rundown through the grid. So Teja Sharma, who spun a few times actually, but still beat the Lithuanian driver to P10, which is crucial because he gets the stat from the front of the grid, and the Lithuanian driver will be down in P11. Sorry for not remembering your name, but yeah, the name is too long for my goldfish memory to be remembering. But yeah, Leila Petrali had a shocking race 1. She doesn't look that quick in qualifying, but then her setup looks to be way too unstable. It might also be that she's using some wrong driving technique for this track because a lot of these drivers are very inexperienced for the Buenos Aires circuit. So let's see if she can do better in race two, starting from the second position. We then got Brian Garcia starting from P3. So the top three definitely are in kind of the third group in terms of pace. So it'll be very interesting to see when the drivers behind caught up to them how fast they can overtake, because if you get held up, the gap could really build. We've then got Glenn Selk starting from P4. Matt Pryor and Miragubi will be starting from the third row. We've then got Maverick and Bergie from the fourth row. Marcel Mico and Mr. Scooter, our race one winner, will start from the fifth row. And then we have got Kvitara Vicious starting from P11, as I need to move off myself and go to Teja Sharma for the race start. We are lights out and away we go, and it's a very poor start from Teja Sharma. Actually, it's a brilliant start from Leila Petralia, because Teja Sharma will still stay in P2. So Leila will take the lead into turn one. We're going three wide and they're making contact. It's Glenn Selk trying to send it to the inside, as well as Matt Pryor. They're almost going four wide into turn two. They need to be really careful. And all the way onto the grass is Marcel Miku, just about saves his car. We've also got a car wide onto the grass on the right hand side. That is Matt Pryor, who is dropping down to P7 now. And they sort themselves out just about. Glenn Selk up to P2. Teja Sharma now side by side with Brian Garcia battling for P3. We've then got Sandy Burgee looking to the inside of Brian Garcia and passing Brian Garcia and now passing Teja Sharma as Teja Sharma goes wide onto the grass.
Off.
Yeah, so off goes Teja Sharma and Brian Garcia now in the sandwich, in the middle, in between Miro Igibi and Marcel Miku. He's really not going to want to be there. Marcel Miku on the inside won't yield. Miro Igibi on the outside won't yield. And there was contact. That was inevitable. Maverick gets caught in it. That is very unfortunate. And Mr. Scooting all of that moves up into P7.
Yeah, I was looking on board there with Mr. Scoot, and he was lucky to not be collected in that crash. A flat out corner, two wide is already very difficult, but three wide, you can really expect something to happen, as we could see there. But yeah, Mr. Scoot right now having to make up quite a few positions, but he will probably be able to make it, I think.
Yeah, as Samuel says, it is 10 wide at the back. When I saw Marcel Miro and Brian try to go 3 wide through turn 7, I knew an incident was going to come, because neither of those three drivers are going to back off. As Burgee now right on the back of Glenn Selk, so he's made the best start out of the top three from race 1, but Marcel Miku is right behind him. So with Mr. Scoot getting slightly held up down in P6, it might be a good opportunity for Burgee and Marcel Miku to try to build up a gap early on, but Burgee is getting held up by Glenn Selk, who defends the inside line down towards turn 1 brilliantly.
Well, yeah, I must say, final corner, Mr. Scoot had a really good run on Miragubi, but after turn 1 he had a bit of a worse run as he gets hit by Miragubi and
Oh
he's
my god.
sideways.
That is
What happened
incredible.
there?
So he will not be our third ever double victory player or driver in the MX5 series, then I don't think he can still recover from that position. I completely missed that because of watching Burgee harassing Selk, and Selk is putting on a stallion defense on Burgee, who's going to try to go around the outside, but this is really helping Marcel Miku. He's already caught up to the back of these two, and if they make contact into the hairpin, Marcel Miku will be there to profit. Glenn Selk defends inside line down towards turning. Burgee will try to go around the outside, but he can't, and both of them go wide, and Marcel Miku gets the perfect cutback. He's alongside Sandy Burgess through the chicane, but he has to back off. Oh,
Yes,
he's
indeed,
tapped him.
that's getting very close there.
He's opened the door. They're still side by side. They're still getting held up by Glenn Selk. Don't go side by side through the chicane. Who's gonna lift? Sandy Burgess
Sandy
braked.
Burgee yields.
Yeah.
I mean, smart move from him there. I mean, we could see 3 wide in a fast corner, but that's a more technical fast corner, and 2 wide there, you kill 2 cars, yourself and your opponent, so don't want to see that, as Marcel Migu right now has a very good run on Glenn Selk heading onto the main straight. He's not really going. No, he moves out of the slipstream right now. I think he's going to try and do everything on brakes, as Glenn Selk puts a perfect amount of pressure right now. He has the inside line heading into turn 1. Marcel Miku later on the brakes. He tries to go around the outside. They're too wide right now. Marcel Miku seems to have the better exit as he
Brilliant.
moves up into P2, but we still have the next corner where overtaking can happen. Will it though? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, Miro Gibi also did the move on Matt Pryor in towards turn 1, so back up into P5 goes the Belgian driver. Now Mr. Scoot is held up by Matt Pryor. So both Glenn Selk and Matt Pryor is being the cork in the bottle because they are in the Group 2 pace and they are getting attacked by those Group 1 drivers as Marcel Miku will try to close down on Leila Petrali and try to pull away because Bergie is still getting held up by Glenn Selk.
Yes, indeed. As Selk and Burgi fighting right now very heavily. I mean, they're constantly side by side right now as Sandy Burgi yields for Glenn Selk. He's trying to go for a better run and he has a better exit, but right now in this fast section, he's not able to pass immediately.
Yeah, you just can't really make the move towards turn 11 and 12 unless the driver in front makes a mistake. Meanwhile, Mr. Scoot has passed Matt Pryor through turn 7, so I mean, he can still do this because Marcel Miku is still behind Leila Petralia, so Marcel Miku doesn't have clean air to push his own pace yet. Mr. Scoot needs to pass Miro fast, and after potentially making contact with Mr. Scoot early on, I don't think Miro is going to be too harsh on the defense, and yes, he left the door open in the final corner, effectively letting Mr. Scoot by. So up to P5 is our race 1 winner, and now he has clean air, but he needs to catch up. A 3-second gap to the front group as Glenn Selk almost goes onto the grass to try to defend front, but what a brilliant send!
What a move!
Absolutely outstanding! However, Glenn Selk gets the cutback, but Berger will have the inside line for the turn 3 hairpin. I think that is move complete. That is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, Sandy Burgi edges Glenn Selk out right there. And he's made it stick right now. He just has to lose him in the next few corners and on the straight. And then he can hopefully catch up to Marcel Miku, who's getting very close to Leila Petralia right now. 4P1. He
Yes,
will have a better exit here, but what will he do? Will Leila Petralia defend from him?
she
Doesn't
does
look
a
like it. She stays on the racing line there.
Yeah, this is good for Layla. I don't think she needs to fight for Marcel Miku. She needs to try to finish as high as possible to try to gain more points on the likes of Miro and Maverick who are down in P6 and P8. So letting Marcel pass is okay. She's not as fast as Marcel Miku, as Marcel Miku actually makes a mistake in the hairpin. He's gone deep there. This is not really what Leila Petralia wanted. She wants Marcel to drive away in the distance instead of battling with him, because in battling they're losing time. Oh
Whoa.
my god, what a
Very
save!
slidey there.
Incredible save from Leila Petralia. And now Sandy Burgi sees blood. He should be able to pass Leila Petralia next lap without any issue, as Leila Petralia cuts a lot of grass and somehow stayed on track. Sandy Burgi tries to set up the exit. Leila Petralia gets caught on the inside curve. It's a brilliant exit from Sandy Burgi. Surely this is an opportunity down towards turn 1.
I really like how we can see further down the back Mr. Scoot ever so slightly catching up to this front back. I mean, Sandy Burgi will be busy fighting Leila Petralia right now
Ooh,
as he
he's
nearly
actually on
went
the
for a
grass.
move there.
I think Sandy Birch got caught out by how early Layla was braking, so he had to take it to the grass to avoid her. But now he's on the wrong side of the hairpin, and all of this is helping Marcel Miku drive away as Sandy Birch almost on the grass, tries to hang around the outside. That's too deep.
Well, yeah, I mean, now we can see Glenn Selk and Mr. Scoot rapidly approaching this battle. I mean, Leila Petralia has to pick up the pace to Marcel Miku if Mr. Scoot wants a chance, and he also doesn't want to be held up by these cars because he knows he's faster, he knows he has the pace, he just has to make it work. As you can see, Leila Petralia middle of the road defending right now as Sandy Burgi ever so slightly creeps up as we're heading towards the hairpin. Sandy Burgi hits Leila Petralia. It looked like a bit of an indecisive line there at the beginning of the corner, but doesn't matter. Glenn Selk now in the battle. Same for Mr. Scoot, who had a slight power slide there at the exit.
This is brilliant news for Marcel Miku, who needs to push to the absolute maximum while his main contenders are getting held up in the battles as Bergie goes wide in turn 12, and somehow he's gained time. How has he done that?
I think it's just a cursed track, man. I mean, these
Ooh,
drivers, I see them gain time while making a mistake, which is so rare to see. As both of them on the grass, Sandy Burge a bit more than Leila Petralia, but he saves it better as he's moving down the inside here. He yields a bit, I think, just to get the slipstream. As you
here
can see,
comes Mr.
Mr.
Scoot.
Scoot right now up into P4. He's, my God,
He's made the
what
move
a
on.
driver.
He's made the move on the inside of the fast chicane on Glen Selk, and now he's getting the draft from Leila
This is a double
Petralia, and
overtake.
to the inside.
My God!
He's gonna do
A
it.
double overtake in turn 1
Go!
as Leila Petralia half on the
Oh
grass
my
there.
God!
My God, what is happening? These drivers are... I know that we're only halfway through the race, but to be making moves
Touch,
like this,
bump.
contact against Sandy Burgee on the grass, loses the position to Glenn Selk, and now is that Rakubi joining this battle also. Marcel Miku, what a
Oh!
winner. Contact again, Mr. Scoot on the grass. Contact with Leila Petralia as he's losing the position again to Sandy Burgee.
And
I
Glen
must
Selk is
imagine
almost
how
second.
frustrated he is right now.
And slide goes Bergie. He's going to drop down to P6. Yeah, just to recap all of that, Mr. School was down the inside of both Leila Petralia and Sandy Bergie into turn 1. And then Leila Petralia went for a brilliant cutback, a bit on the curb, a bit on the grass. That's why she almost lost the car on the exit. So she went deep. Mr. School followed him in. As School now hits Miro on the rear end in towards the hairpin. He's really doing a bit of a push to pass as Miro.
Oh!
My God.
My
Somehow,
God, I think
nobody spoke.
right now Mr. Scoot is very frustrated with Miro Ragubi. I mean, the amount of contact they had this race, it's definitely not helping him. I mean, Marcel Miku is able to just cruise at the front right now. If
He's
I were
won
him,
this
I wouldn't
race.
even worry
Yeah.
because this battle is so tight, so much contact is happening that, you know, anything can happen to these drivers and will cost them eventually.
This is absolutely incredible. And then there was contact last lap by Mr. Scoot as Glenn Selk has passed Leila Petralia coming out of the final corner. And now Mr. Scoot is on the right hand side of Leila Petralia, and surely up to P3 will be Mr. Scoot as we're going side by side behind Miro Regibi repassing Matt Pryor for P6. So yeah, there was contact down towards turn 3 last lap when Mr. Scoot tapped Leila, and Leila is trying to return the favor, trying to retaliate, but she's not got the run towards turn 2 this time. This is the corner where Mrs. Scoot and Leila Petralia made contact last lap. Leila sends it down the inside this time. She's not going to be... Yeah, she's giving him the bump back, and Mrs. Scoot gives her the bump back. Oh my goodness.
I mean, I get that you want a position at all costs, especially when fighting for a championship, but I must say, Leila Petralia is using a bit too much of the track, in my opinion. Especially in turn 1, you can see down the inside line there. Ooh, Mr. Scoot
Bergie,
drifts there.
I think Bergie
To
tapped
get
him
back to my
maybe.
talking point, ooh, he flashes Leila Petralia, who looked to slow down. Could have been a bit of rubber banding, but no, Petralia uses so much of the track, especially curbs in turn 1, which pushes her out too much towards the exit, which isn't optimal, especially when you're battling with other cars, because you can easily push them off, which we saw
Deep.
a lap prior. But yeah, Sandy Burgee now getting a better run. I think I like a bit of contact in racing. That's why I like MX5s, touring cars, GT racing. They allow contact, as long as you don't take anybody out. But I think we're nearing a limit right here. I think Leila Petralia is using a bit too much of the track, which is causing the car to just shift off, be a bit less controllable, and thus making a bit more contact with other drivers.
Brilliant run from Mr. Scoot. Is he going to send one around the outside of Leila
We're on the
Petralia?
outside.
That is absolutely brilliant. Will the space be given? This time the answer is yes.
Sandy Burgee right now with the bump draft. What a beautiful send there.
They've just dropped it past Leila Petralia like if she's not even there. That bump draft was absolutely mad. And now they're working together trying to catch Glenn Selk up ahead, and now Bergie pulls to the inside. He feinted the move, and Leila Petralia once again towards the inside of Sandy Bergie. Bergie needs to leave a bit of space, so he got delayed in turn 1. Mrs. School now on the outside of Glenn Selk in towards the hairpin. He's gonna try the Bergie
Ooh.
move. Oh, Layla has
Oh,
turned
Bergie
Bergie around.
gets pit maneuvered there by Leila Petralia.
Well, he's controlled the car, but he's back down to P5 again. This is absolutely crazy. Somehow Glenn Selk is still in P2, but surely he's not going to be able to defend his position towards turn 8 because he's gone. Well, actually, Scoot has gone wide.
Ooh,
Scoot
Scoot has
is.
gone very wide. Same for Sandy Bergie, but a bit less. I mean, you can barely even see Marcel Miku right now. He's so far up ahead. These cars have been battling so much that Marcel Miku, I think he can just cruise the car in second gear and then still win the race at this point. Because, my God, these drivers are getting at it.
Oh,
As
tap.
Mr. Scoot goes wide there, Leila Petralia nearly going for it as they're going side by side with Sandy Bergie. It's getting a bit much right now, man. I'm at a loss for words.
Maverick, who got unfortunately in the incident on lap 1, lost 10 seconds, is actually back up into P7. And if they keep fighting, Maverick might also join the end of this train as Miro Gibi now down to P8. It's been a rather unfortunate couple of races so far for the Belgian driver as Sandy Butch completely on the grass and almost hitting the rear of Leila Petraling towards the final corner. You can see Leila dropping back from the 2 up ahead, so it's important for Sandy Butch to make the move as Mr. Scoot goes as Miro Gibi spins in the final corner. Mr. Scoot around the outside of Glenn Selk down towards turn 1.
Sandy Bergie also trying to make the move down the inside of Leila Petralia. We'll see what happens here because we have seen before Leila Petralia really, once you take all the turn 1 apex and curb there is, as Sandy Bergie slide there from him.
So,
Are they
yeah,
going side by side again? I mean, he has the inside line into the next turn and he makes the move stick. He's going a bit wide there. Leila Petralia seems to have a better exit than but Sandy Bergie still holds on as Mr. Scoot is in P2 right now. I think he's gonna
run away.
pull away from this group right now, but
Yeah.
he won't have enough to get to the front, sadly.
Now the gap is 4.4 seconds. I think Marcel Miko has backed off in the last couple of laps. But he can do that because there will only be 2 laps to go at the end of this one. So he's absolutely clear as Bergie now sniffing the slipstream from Glenn Selk. Glenn Selk, is he going to defend the inside towards turn 8? Yes, he is. So Bergie is forced to go the long way round. Can he get the cutback? No. Yes, he's trying. Glenn Selk opened the door up, and now Bergie is alongside. There is still an overlap. Glenn Selk has to leave the door open, and now Bergie tries to go all the way around the outside of turn 11. That doesn't work. But
Leila
he's got the
Petralia
cutback.
also rejoining the battle there.
Oh no, side
Are
by
they
side
going side
here.
by side? Oh, who's gonna
Ooh.
yield?
None of them is yielding. This is for P3. Bergie sending it to the inside. Little bit of lift. Tries to get the cutback. He's almost tapped Glenn. He's tapped
Whoa!
Glenn.
There goes Glenn Selk! 3
No.
cars collected! The fourth,
Maverick.
Sandy Bergie spun
Maverick.
around, done a 180. Glenn Selk now back on track. Holy!
Up to P5 goes Maverick. He's gone to that position again. It's Matt Pryor now. He's joined the fight from absolutely nowhere, and he's right on the rear end of Leila Petralia. This is now a podium battle for the returning British driver. This would be dream scenario for Matt Pryor. He's gone way too deep in turn 1 though.
He has, but he can try and outbreak Leila Petralia in the next corner right here. But he will not yet. He's forced to go a bit wide there as to not hit Leila Petralia. But he will have the advantage with Slipstream coming onto the straight we have here soon. And I think, you know, he might go for the podium. We still have probably... I think this is penultimate lap right now. So after this... Yep, we're on the penultimate lap, so
Why
he really has to start making a move.
Yeah.
And
if they are not careful, Glenn Selk has rejoined this train basically. And Sandy Burge, after his contact with Glenn Selk, is now buried down in P7. Matt Pryor looks to the inside, but Layla is on phase because she knows Matt Pryor is too far back, so there's no point defending the inside towards the hairpin as Layla gets a good run out of the hairpin. So it looks like she will be able to fend off just now. Now turn 12 is crucial. If you go too deep, your exit will be terrible. Layla uses a lot of the curb and now going onto the grass and taking Matt
Both
Pryor
of them.
and Maverick. They all three just went the same line because they all followed Layla Petralia onto the grass. That is absolutely insane. And now through this very tricky fast chicane where there was contact last lap, the further apart this time, Layla Petralia once again shoots for the inside, but that doesn't seem like the best line. Yeah, Layla once again being slow through the final corner, which means Matt Pryor gets the run, but he's not going to get the slipstream. They're going to be side by side down towards the final lap into turn 1.
He really wants to make it work on his final lap as we're heading down into turn 1 for the last time. Matt Pryor makes a move, stakes slight contact with Layla Petralia there. He still holds on to position right now.
Layla has the
Next
overlap.
braking zone, we're heading there right now.
Yeah, Layla has the inside
Side
line for
by
turn
side.
3. Oh, who's going to brake later? Layla brakes later. That's brilliant. She's retaken that P3 position. I think turn 8 is the best chance unless Matt Pryor wants to make a sand into turn 4, but he thinks better of it. He stays behind the run coming out of turn 6. This exit will be absolutely crucial.
Yes, indeed, as we're heading to this straight right now for the final time also. He has the slipstream ever so slightly. It's not going to be enough here. He's going to get a bit of dirty air here in the next corner, but then a heavy braking zone. Will we see him challenge a move there? We're heading there right now. He's going towards the inside, it looks like, into the braking zone. It doesn't work. Layla Petralia goes wide. Are we going too wide here?
Yeah, Maverick
No,
goes
not
wide.
yet.
Glenn
Selk
Selk
off.
passes him. Yeah, Glenn Selk passes Maverick after avoiding a deep Maverick, and they are. Oh, yeah, Glenn Selk is returning the position, I think, because he did pass Maverick all 4 wheels off the circuit, and Matt Pryor couldn't make the move into turn 8 work. So now it's whether he wants to make the stand down towards the final corner. We've seen Layla being slightly slower, being slightly more cautious in the final corner. How much risk will the British driver take? He's closing in, but Layla fends off the inside line. Matt Pryor will need to either go for a cutback, but he's on the grass. He's completely
Whoa!
ruined it. That is not going to be
Yeah.
a move made, and Layla Petralia, after some absolutely incredible defense, somehow holds on to P3 as Marcel Miku, the season 15 champion, wins race to hair at Buenos Aires in front of a brilliantly recovering Mr. Scoot. After going down to P7 or even P8 early on in the race, he recovers back up to P2.
Well, yeah, I mean, lots of contact happened this race. I don't know if we'll see many reports or penalties. That will be decided by the stewards if reports get sent in, but got very close and dirty at times, and yeah, it really costs some drivers more than others, especially Sandy Burgee.
To be fair, the cutback that I've hit the wrong button completely. Very good. I have no idea where I am right now, but the send that or the cutback that Layla did on Mr. Scoot is actually very good. On a second look, I think she was all over the curb, but it looks pretty clean. Yeah, I
Yes,
mean,
you're right.
it's 4 wheels off the white line, but as we said, the white line is not where the limit is. Mr. Scoot gave later a shot on the exit already, and down towards turn 3, Mr. Scoot once again hits the rear of Layla, who bumps into Sandy Burgee. So I think Layla's kind of bumping on the next lap is, well, grounded almost, because Mr. Scoot gave her 3 shots, in fact, into turn 4. So there was 3 bits of contact between Layla Petralia and Mr. Scoot in turn 1, turn 3, and turn 4. Just maniac stuff in Buenos
Yeah,
Aires tonight.
I mean the turn 1 there, it can be interpreted in many different ways. It can be seen as a desperate move to cling on to position from Layla Petralia, but on the other hand, yeah, I mean,
I
you're
think
there with 4 other cars, you know. it's very dangerous to go for such a move. Luckily, nothing much happened, but there were almost four tires on the grass there.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think in these cars you should consider track limits as the curb. So she still had
Yeah,
the wheels on the curb, which is okay. But yeah,
luckily, yeah.
this little bit of bump into turn three is definitely a bit of returning the favor from last step, and Mr. School just bumped him, tries to get the room. But yeah, it was crazy. And then just before we go to the interviews, I want to have a look between what happened. Ooh, if I can try to find it, that is. Oh, that's a wrong button. Very good. I am dead. So there's no more replays to be seen. Actually, no, there is replays to be seen. I just need to try to find the right cars. All right, Sandy Burgee. Where did he hit Glenself? It should be this lap. So he backed off in the first part of the fast chicane. And that's the tiniest bit of the touches.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
could have
he
been.
yeah, he's even braked on the exit, but he still turned Glance out. It's just the speed difference that these two cars were carrying the fast chicane was too huge. That was almost not avoidable, as I've been voted to be kicked from the race for whatever reason. So let's quickly move off that screen. And my game is crashed because I've been kicked. But here we go. Interview time. We have got well, first of all, let's congratulations to Marcel Miku, our season 15 champion. Hello, Marcel.
Hello there.
Yes, so with Alex's absence, you were crowned champion basically at the start of qualifying. How do you sum up your season?
Well, it was eventful. I can certainly say that much.
That's very
Especially with
short.
especially with some of our runs. Like, it was quite an eventful series. Plenty of
Mhm.
ups and downs, but still managed to bounce my way through, claim decisive points, and yeah, I don't think much needs to be said other than just I could say more, but I don't know what to say really. I'm not exactly the type that gets all emotional and all that.
Fair enough. Yeah, so let's talk about the two races then. You had a very good battle with Sandy Burgin race one,
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good one.
but
I mean, of
I
course.
mean, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was about to say, like, of course, against Scott, I know the odds aren't exactly in my favor because I already did mention that Scoot is running H-Lifter and I'm not, which of course explains the speed difference. Like, I think pace-wise, we are pretty much on par, but it's just the power difference that's the issue.
Hmm. That is very interesting, but you did catch up to him after you had a 6 second gap all the way to, I think, 3 seconds for the second half of the race. Do you think if you didn't have the battle with Bergie, could you have challenged the victory in race one?
Potentially I could have, but I wasn't exactly too concerned about the outcome since I knew it was over anyway.
Yeah, that is fair enough. And then in race two, you obviously got a brilliant start, and then you just drove away from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, and in that case, I was just locked in. I basically have like a mentality that if I don't lock in for like a second, that's when mistakes can start compounding. So, can't in my mind, I can't exactly afford to back off too
Hmm.
much.
That is very true. Consistency and concentration are definitely big parts of racing. Any question from you, Asa?
No, I mean, I really want to congratulate you on your championship win and two brilliant races where you really extracted everything you needed from your car. Congratulations, man.
Yep. Cheers, man. Thanks.
Yeah, congratulations to Marcel Miku. So let's move on to our race one winner, Mr. Scoot. Hello, Scoot.
Hello?
You have won 4 race ones in a row. How do you feel about that?
Pissed about not getting race 2.
Yeah, so let's talk about race one first. Was it just as easy as a Sunday drive, or did you feel any pressure throughout race one?
At the start, I was really locked in, and so I had a really, really good start. I ran away. That was my whole plan. I knew because I qualified P1, I just needed to run as fast as I could. So I did that. And then about halfway through the race, I got really bored, and so I started slowing down and lifting, just so I didn't throw away the lead. But yeah,
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. And let's talk about the more I don't know what the right word is, more chaotic, more dangerous, more ridiculous race two that you had. Talk us through the battles. You had a few bumps with Leila Petralia in the mid race, about six that I remember.
I think I brushed the doors of every driver except Mika that race. There was so much contact that I don't really remember individual incidents at this point. I know with Layla there was one move which was a little ambitious going into I think turn 3 or 4, um, where she kind of just sent it in and I had to abort my line to make sure there was no contact. But I think there still was contact on the exit. But yeah, just a lot of bumping. Very entertaining race. I'm not mad about it, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a good recovery to go up to P2 after all of the battles that you were involved in throughout the race. But yeah, so you're basically, if you do the final race, you should solidify fourth place in the championship and maybe even moving up to third. I'm not sure if Alex misses the final round, if you still have a chance to catch up to the Hungarian driver. But are you planning to do a full season in season 16?
Yeah, I'm hoping to. We'll see, but my schedule right now it should be very open. But I actually think I should be maybe catching Bergie for P3, maybe not Alex.
Uh,
We'll have to see. I think I'm like 80 points behind going into this
yes,
race, so
that is correct. And
hopefully I've cut that down a little bit.
yeah, after his misfortune in race two, you should gain somewhere about 35 to 40 points this round. Quick math, not my strong suit, but yes, the gap should be around 40 to 50 going into the final round. So all to fight for, definitely for a top three or potentially even a top two in the championship after you only joined the series from round five onwards. So just really brilliant performance once again from you, Mr. Scoot. Any question from you, Arthur?
No, I'm very excited to see you next season if you compete there, because today really displayed some great racecraft, and I must imagine how difficult that second race was, fighting with 4 other cars around you. So congratulations on your race 1 win and then the recovery in race 2.
Thank you very much.
Okay, hello, Layla.
Oh, no.
Well, we asked Miss Scoot's opinion with the contact regarding race two. Talk us through your view of the moves and
Where he almost went out on the grass? Or which one are you
well,
talking
so
about?
basically,
There's a couple of them.
yes. So the first one that I remember was into turn one. I think Mr. Scoot was on the inside with three wide. You were in the middle, but then you went for a cutback. So you were ahead from the exit, and then there was contact in turn one, turn three, turn four, this whole lap. So that
I don't remember
was.
that one. I don't remember that one.
So yeah, and then the move that Mr. Scoot mentioned was the following lap when you were on the inside into
Yeah.
turn three, and talk us through your view about that.
I saw the gap. That's basically it. There was the gap to make the move. I kept my inside, and yeah,
Fair
I basically
enough.
did the whole corner on the curb. So I don't see why it went so wide.
Interesting. Yeah. In race one, your car looks incredibly unstable. What happened there?
Yeah, I tried another setup from the setup workshop, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, that setup does not work with accepted physics. The car was very unstable on the throttle.
Okay.
So I switched back to the previous setup where, yeah, I found the pace. 1 second, a whole second. So
Yeah, yeah. That your pace in race 2 and race 1 were definitely different, but
I went from high 57s to mid 56. So
yeah, that is a big improvement for setup changes. But yeah, I think the point gap between you, Miro, and Maverick is going to still be really close going into the final round next Friday. Do you think he can hold on to P5 in the championship, or do you think Mav will just take P5 because he's Maverick?
I mean, I know Nürburgring like the back of my hand, so I reckon I can do better. Since well, I didn't tell this before, like in the interviews, I don't practice for these races. I practice the same day.
Mm-hmm.
The 1 hour of practice is where I put my laps in, but Nürburgring, I know it already, so I'm positive.
Okay, that is good news, and good luck next Friday. Let's move on to
Thank you,
our
thank you.
final interviewee, that is Matt Pryor, a returning driver, and you were in amongst the battles tonight. How do you feel about the returning?
Exhausted, um, unfit. Yeah, I haven't trained for this HC. I haven't trained. My God. Yeah.
Unfit is quite wild. Didn't imagine to hear this word in a sim racing interview.
No,
Here
I
we are.
mean, God. I need to put a training program together. Um, what happened during my race? I had a great fight with Miro.
Miro.
Miro. That was really fun. I'm pretty sure I shoved him onto the grass at some point, but I don't know when. Like, I kind of, I just remember thinking, oh, that was a bit close. That was probably a bit rude of me, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. Um, Second race, my start, I just got caught out. I was just on the wrong side um, of every battle for that first couple of laps. So all the quick people, like some of the quick people, managed to come through. But then we had that. Well, I saw the scrap ahead of me, and then there was this big collision into the final corner, and then that put me behind Layla. And Layla defended well for 2 laps. Yeah, it was a pretty well defense. I couldn't find a way through. I had one chance, blew it, and yeah, she kept ahead. So that was well done to her.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I think you were definitely faster into the final proper corner, but
Yeah.
everywhere else you were pretty closely matched in terms of the pacing race too. But so from your point of view, did you see what happened between the humongous crash between Bergie and Glenn Selk?
Um, Not really. I kind of just thought it was. I seem to remember the car quite far to the left. So I don't know whether someone's just touched the grass on the outside and it spun them across, but I'd have to see it again because as soon as they spun, it
Uh,
happened quite close in front of me, so I was already like trying to avoid it. So I don't remember a lot of it.
if I can, the crash
Yes.
was Burgi was basically on Selk's bumper. Selk took the second last corner slower than Burgi, and yeah, an unavoidable spin. It's basically a pit maneuver.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
That
from
makes
our
sense.
broadcast, what we saw was Bergie basically lifted in the first part of the fast chicane, and then tried to set up the exit for the right part of the
Oh,
chicane, but then
okay.
Glenn sent it in there, so he was way slower coming out of the chicane. So Bergie even tried to brake, but still tapped. It was the lightest tap in the world, but because
Yeah.
I think Glenn was still turning right, so it just sent both of
So,
them spinning in the middle of the road.
yeah. So it's more that they're all trying to outsmart each other. And yeah, okay. Yeah. Nice.
Well, yes. So, well, I guess that's it for tonight. Next Friday, we'll be racing in Nürburgring. It will not be a 120-minute finale like the screenshot is showing right now. I actually don't know how many minutes there will be. I think it's 40-minute race, is it? That's
45.
Yeah, it's a 40. It's a single 40.
okay.
All
So it'll
right.
be a longer race, but the overall distance is still the same, but it will also be double points, so the winner will take the 100 points completely. So yeah, I think if Mr. Scoot wins that race and Bergie finishes third, fourth, or even below, then there's a big chance that Mr. Scoot might even finish second in the championship. We'll have to work out the points. But the winner has been decided. It is Marcel Miku. And once again, at the end of the stream, congratulations to Marcel Miku for winning season 15 of the MX5 series here at Phoenix Sim Sport. And thank you to Arthur for co-commentating tonight. And thank you to Leila Petralia, Marcel Miku, Matt Pry, and Mr. Scoot for taking the interviews tonight. We'll see you in about 35 minutes for the TCR race at Buenos Aires tomorrow, which is Saturday night for ACC and LMU, and next week, all of the same, but season finale for all of the AC series. We'll see you then. Good night.